Before I turn our podium over to our president, Jim Dickey, I want to take a moment to acknowledge Horatio Alger member Walter Scott Jr., who passed away just 10 days ago. Walter was truly a giant in business, engineering, philanthropy. He was inducted into this association in 1997. Walter quickly rose to leadership, serving as our president from 2000 to 2004 and our chairman from 2004 to 2006. He supported all forms of higher education, including career and technical education, and was a huge driving force in the launch of our state scholarship program, the Canadian Association, as well as the Horatio Alger Endowment Fund, of which he served as chair and president until his passing. A Norman Vincent Peale Award winner in 2009, few individuals have had the impact on this association that Walter had. He was truly one of our greatest leaders. We will honor the life and legacy of Walter throughout our time together, but for tonight, let us pause for a moment of silence in honor of our friend, Walter Scott Jr., who left such an important mark on this association.
Thank you, Matt. What a beautiful tribute to our friend and colleague, Walter Scott Jr. And as you prepare to transition to Chairman Emeritus of this association, Matt, a role that Walter served in for 15 years, it's only right that I acknowledge with deep gratitude your partnership over these past 2 years. You have served this organization with the same kind of distinction as our friend Walter served it, and for that, we owe you our sincerest thanks.
Sadly, we were last together in 2019, and since that time, we've lost 22 members and life partners. Also, very sadly, just 10 days ago, our association suffered another tremendous loss with the passing of our friend and association chairman emeritus, endowment fund chairman, and chairman and president, Walter Scott Jr. Walter, as we all knew him, was a legend in the construction, telecommunications, and energy industries. He was a driving force in creating what is today Berkshire Hathaway Energy, a $100 billion plus asset company. But perhaps even more importantly, he was one of the great philanthropists, not only in Nebraska, but in our nation. The Horatio Alger Association benefited immensely from Walter's extraordinary generosity. In nearly 25 years of membership, Walter helped transform and reshape this organization's mission and programs in countless ways. Walter, with his life partner Suzanne, initiated the first Horatio Alger State Scholarship Program in Nebraska in 2000. With Dennis Washington and Tony Novelli, Walter supported the creation of the Horatio Alger Association of Canada. He also directed the creation of the Horatio Alger Endowment Fund in 2011 as an independent entity, leading it until his passing. With Dean Cortopassi, Walter encouraged and supported the creation of a Horatio Alger Association Scholarship Program for career and technical education. But these accomplishments only begin to touch on Walter and a member that Walter was. Let's take a few moments to look back at all that Walter did in service to this association.
Horatio Alger is an absolutely fabulous organization. It's run by fabulous people. It's got great members. And from my perspective, it's all about the kids. We've been able to expand the scholarship programs, which means that there are a lot of additional students. They're going to have the opportunity to get education. The desired goal is to have a scholarship program in all 50 states. And the only way you're going to permanently fund them is to have substantial amounts of money in an endowment that makes sure that There will always be a scholarship fund for the various states that are participating in the program. The endowment campaign, more than anything else, is one that's necessary.
Thank you, our fellow members, our friends, for making the campaign of investing in America's future a stunning success.
We'll see how much they like the letters.
You have to give something back to your community that will allow people in the future a better education, a better opportunity, a better start in life. Wherever we are today as a society is built upon the past experiences of people and what they did to create a better world in which to live.
Persistence is a great attribute for somebody that wants to be successful at what they do. You can't let day-to-day problems that set you back keep you from continuing to work hard at it and overcome the problems that you have.
He is absolutely, without a doubt, the most positive person, and his ability to take hold of a situation and make it work has always been forefront in his mind, and he will always go forward.
Truly, Walter was an extraordinary man, and while his legacy within this association can be defined by his impactful leadership across 2.5 decades, one could argue that his true legacy was in identifying new members who would grow this organization. Since 1997, Walter served as the primary or secondary nominator for 13 fellow members, including this year's new association president, Greg Abel. In the days since his passing, we've had the opportunity to reflect on what would be a fitting way to honor Walter. This moment and this video is one way. But Walter, as the association award named in his honor indicates, was a visionary. He always looked ahead, and he always lived by the belief that the greatest thing you can do is be a giver. The world already has enough takers. As we shared during today's membership meeting, and as we look ahead to our 75th anniversary year in 2022 and the 40th anniversary of our scholarship program in 2024, now is the time for us to launch the extension of our endowment campaign. It is not only exactly what Walter wanted for his association, but only days before his passing, he made his last large commitment to this endowment of another $15 million. What we know today is that a strong endowment is essential for Horatio Alger to continue to do what we're doing. Our mission is to sustain the American dream for generations to come, regardless of unexpected and disruptive events. To do that, we must safeguard the scholarships, support services, and engagements that make it possible. I have confidence in our ability to meet this bold endowment goal because we've done so before. As has been mentioned, in 2015, we concluded our first endowment campaign in which we raised $250 million in less than 4 years. That effort was led by Joe Neubauer, Tony Novelli, and our dear friend Walter. This new effort will be inspired by and will be successful in Walter's honor. While we're saddened by Walter's passing, we're deeply grateful that his foundation will continue to be engaged with the Horatio Alger Association. We're pleased to announce that Calvin Sisson, the president and CEO of the Susanna Walter Scott Foundation, has been officially named by the board of directors as a Horatio Alger Friend of Distinction. Calvin and his lovely wife, Rhonda, join us today. Calvin and Rhonda, could you stand and be recognized? Without Mr. Scott's vision a decade ago, this association may not have been navigated the past 20 months nearly as successfully as it has, and it wouldn't be poised for the incredible growth that we have before us. As we launch this campaign, I know that the association will hear the clarion call and respond to it, just as you always have. We've got Walter Scott to thank for that. Thank you for seriously considering this request. Thank you.
It's great to be here. So before I begin my formal remarks, I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the passing of my dear friend and mentor, Walter Scott Jr. I know we've touched on this a few times, but he was just such an exceptional man. When Walter nominated me to this remarkable membership organization in 2018, I was grateful for his encouragement and support. It's an honor to be involved in a cause that meant so much to him. There's no doubt that Walter had an incredible impact on this association. In fact, Walter had an impact everywhere he went, everything he did. Few can rival his leadership, generosity, and kindness. They are hallmarks of his profound legacy. One of Walter's greatest beliefs was that the greatest thing you can acquire is an education, because no one can take that away from you. It is really no wonder that the mission of the Horatio Alger Association resonated so deeply with him. The association is filled with givers, Walter chief among them for the last 25 years. And what it gives is an opportunity for education. I cannot think of a greater alignment in values than Walter Scott Jr. and the Horatio Alger Association. Walter expressed the same level of passion as he served his community and showed how much he loved this country and treasured his Nebraska roots. He truly lived his life as a giver. While I'm deeply saddened by his passing, I'm grateful to have called him a friend. As we begin our 75th year in 2022, I know that Walter's spirit will continue to inspire our vision and generosity. I feel like we should have an eagle soaring across the room right now. And I know Walter would specifically be saying, "Is that Challenger?" He had his very special eagle.
How are y'all doing tonight? Fantastic. All right. Well, it is truly an honor and a privilege to be back performing for a room of people that make such a profound difference in the world. And speaking of remarkable people, I know that we're all missing a great man in Walter Scott. We were fortunate to be at his 90th birthday 3 months ago, and it was truly a joyous event. And I've known him for 23 years, the boy for 12, and he's truly made a positive impact in our life.
And one thing that came up in conversations when we were speaking about his legacy and some of the values that we learned from him, one thing stood out, and it was to always leave the world better than you found it, even in small ways. And so that's something that we carry with us wherever we go, and we are thinking about Walter this evening.
We sang this next song to Walter on a very special occasion. He loved this association so dearly, and we found it fitting that this message of this song may be, perhaps, his wish to all of you.
May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true.